What's up, Yuki fam? It's been a while since I've done a video. As you can see, I'm back with Dark Magician. Um, quick shout out. I just want to give a shout out to the DMG family community. Um, Today I ended up going 5-0 in my locals, and it was intense competition to say the least. So without any further ado, I want to get straight into it. It's okay. All right. Not gonna be doing too much cuts, but for my 3 cards in this deck, I like to keep it base. 3 rods. Me personally, with the new build that I am gonna start making, I might cut this down to 2. But at this being at 3, it's just so powerful. Especially in this build, you need to see your starters, and you'll see why later in the list on why I have so many starters. I'll explain later why that's a thing. The next 3 Magician Souls. Now, this card right here is it's my circular, it's my extender, and that would be my diameter. Rod would be my diameter. This is so important in the deck, especially with this build specifically. I can go many ways with Magician Souls than just the typical dumb Dark Magician Girl or Dark Magician. It's so much value in this deck. It's actually insane. And in the end game, why I had a grind game, this build actually prevailed, and I'm extremely impressed, to say the least. All right, the next 2, no surprise, Dark Magician. I went ahead and changed the card arts. You feel me? I really like the Merrick one, and I like the does he still have it? Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't have it anymore. But this was the Loza profile one. Love this DMG card art. Honestly, it's beautiful. Run it at 2, not at 3. Don't be weird. Unless you like bricking. Unless it's a pure DM build. Which this isn't. 1 DMG and 1 mana. Now, I didn't add Mahad because Mahad is kind of like and mana actually protects me when I dump with Magician Souls. Dump mana, especially some magicians. Magician Souls. If I have a bunch of spells in my hand plus Rod, you would do Magician. I'll explain it later, but just know mana is really important. And even if you do brick with her, as long as you have a starter in your hand, I think she's extremely valuable. But she is a brick, so keep that in mind. Unfortunately, my Illusion to Chaos did not come in today, but they will be coming in quite shortly. Until then, we'll be using 1 Apprentice, and then I'll be running 2 Illusion to Chaoses in this deck, not 3. I ordered 3, but I'll run 2. It's been going really well online at 2, so I'll run 2. But just keep in mind, she's only here for calculation, damage calc. Really good card, by the way. Unbrick the hand. Here's the spice that everyone's probably looking for in this deck. All right, you ready? You probably see it in my other deck profiles. We are going to display the 3 Ecclesias. We're running Dogmatica in this deck. I think Dogmatica is extremely powerful in the Spellcaster deck. Her valuability, not only after Rod gets normal summon in Magician Souls, after the Rod and Magician Souls baits get the hand traps and imperms out the way, we go straight into the next package. And we still, and if we don't have to go into this package, we go into the other one, and then we go to this one. This is the last package we use. This is a second option. This is mainly a third option. This is never going to be always a second option. But today, yesterday, it was in the fights like 80% of the games. All the games I played. So 3 Ecclesias. She's beautiful, amazing card. God tier. A lot of I wouldn't say a lot of dislikes, but a lot of people told me not to run this many copies of this next card, and I said to hell with it, because in the grind game this card does so much, especially when it has its counterpart next to it. And what people don't know is this card cannot be destroyed by extra deck monsters during battle. So her just sitting there and slowly gaining 500 attack per damage phase on my turn just makes her so much more valuable. And she's ulti. But also, no, Fleur-de-Lis, while my Ecclesia is on the field, I can activate her effect in hand, the special summon, during my turn. It's during any turn action, now that I think about it. as long as it's during the main phase, which is main phase 1 or main phase 2. You can non-target negate any monster card on the field. This card is pretty broken in my opinion, and that's why I have it at 2. If it had target one card in the field and negate it, I would run this at 1. But since it's at 2 and it's very searchable and there's a combo in this deck, I run it at 2 for a reason. Skip this ad. I'm watching Loza. Here's something that speaking of Loza, this is something that he never really recommended Dark Magician run, but I ran it today and it went successful. 3 Ash Blossoms. Honestly, bro, my prismatics are put up, by the way. I don't know. I think Ash Blossom's nice. No brick. Not a brick at all. Not even close. If there's a bunch of hand traps in your hand, yeah, this is definitely a brick. But this is the only set of hand traps in my deck, which tells you that I don't run Imperm. And I'll explain all that later. This is for Welcome. I'm sorry, let me get to the point. For Welcome, Branded Fusion, all the special summon from deck, special summon from the deck, add from the deck, sent to the deck to graveyard. Ash Blossom is just S tier hand trap. And speaking of the devil, I am running the sauce in this deck to Eluberted Jester of Despia. I might put this at 1. The reason why I have it at 2 is because not seeing my starters in my deck. This card indicates that I am running branded the sauce in this deck. And well, you might as well just get it out of the way. It's not branded if I'm not running Fallen Alabaster. At least at 2. Don't run it at 3. And at this point, you're just playing branded. You might as well just play branded. This is the only monsters in my main deck that I'll be running it for branded. Don't run a big branded package. This is only here for Dragoon and Mary Jade. Nothing else. Obviously, you have your other fusions, but this is what it's actually for. That is it for the monsters. Let's get to the spells. On to the spells. 3 Branded Fusion. We'll get to Nadir Servant later. 3 Branded Fusion. Great card. Pray to God that you don't get hit with the Ash Blossom. This card sucks recovering from Ash Blossom. Didn't have that problem today, to be honest, because I ran something in my deck. But also, even if I did get ashed, the follow-up in this deck is just absurd. So I didn't get ashed at all today with Branded Fusion. Surprised. But when I didn't get ashed, I went massive. Branded Fusion, yeah. There's not too much to say about it. I'm not going to waste your guys' time. 3 Nadir Servant. My higher rarities are obviously put up. Great card. Glad that it's at 3 now. I still rented it. I still would have rented it at 3 even if it wasn't at 3. Obviously, if it's legal, obviously. But great card. If you see my extra deck in a little bit, you'll see why I'm running this at 3. People ask me, bro, it locks right in your extra deck when you use it. Why do you think I'm telling you that this card is quote unquote my 3rd option? The Dogmatica package is the 3rd option. It is not the 2nd. Except yesterday it was 85% my duels, but it's always played for the 3rd option, Branded being 1st, and Dark Magician obviously being the 1st option. 3 Soul Servant. I need to get my 2 copies of my prismatic one. But great card. This did so much yesterday. It's actually insane. I didn't think this card could be so dominant and so powerful the way what it did. And I had a Dark Magician mirror match that I'll go into later in this video. This video might be a 20-minute video long, so get your popcorn. Please, I didn't specify that. I'll be going over some combos and tips and tricks, but 3 Soul Servants, self-explanatory. Yeah. Here's the sauce that everyone told me I'm coping with. And they said I shouldn't have ran this card at all. And I said, you know what, bro? You still got clapped by the Forbidden Chalice. I don't know what to say. I know it's nasty, the gold rares, but maximum golds, they're ugly. But running this at 3 was just so powerful. It reminded me of what Droplet could be if it was extremely weak. But this did a lot. So, especially against, what was that deck? the for not for hire, but the fire deck. Yeah. Great card. Now it's time to get into the DMG sauce. One circle, one secret to dark magic. My friend keeps asking me, "You have a second circle?" Of course I do. It's sitting in my box up there, either up there or it's sitting behind me. I keep always a duplicate of all my Dark Magician cards. Got to. Great card. It almost never hits, but today it hit 4 out of 5 of the duels I played in every single freaking round. I think this card is so gas. It's probably because I milled my deck so much during comboing. When I went into my circle, I was able to hit what I wanted to hit, like a Soul Servant for a follow-up. To get the Dark Magic, I mainly use this for during battle, during when they try to pop my monster off the field, when they try to not tribute it, but when they try to there's some secret with this card right here, no pun intended. There's so many key secret saucy plays you can do with this card. This card is underrated as heck. I think it's one of the best Dark Magician support cards in the deck. Me personally speaking, personal experience. But yeah, great cards. We are only running one until I find my bulk of other Upstart Goblins. Great card, easy side, not much to say. Upstart first, and then Chain, Soul Servant. You get the combo. I hope you know that. It's a base, it's super based. My finger's on the volume button. I don't want to turn off the recording. One Salvation, and you guessed it, one Secret Village, and yeah, Call By, we'll put Call By here, and Terraformer. So I didn't see Terraforming as much as I saw it today. I either saw this in hand or this in hand in my starting hands with the rod, either a Rod Ecclesia, Magician Souls. It was just balance on balance on balance, with the Terraforming just being there for discard fodder for drawing. Call by the Grave, obviously if I get hit by an Ash Blossom, which didn't happen today. I got DD card a lot today. And Droll. Holy crap. But I was able to play through, which is surprising. Watch out for Droll too. Just watch out for that, please. This deck gets hurt by Droll pretty hard. It's DMG. One Punishment, one Eternal Soul. My only traps in this deck. Running one Eternal Soul, I don't think it's needed. If you're not running more than one circle, you should always mirror your circle with your Eternal Soul. That's my ruling for Eternal Soul in circle. Dogmatic Punishment. This is more of a bait. I learned Punishment is really a true punishment of a card if you end up using it on your opponent's turn, and you can't use your extra deck next turn. And with this deck, you need your extra deck. So, with that being said, I ended up having some predicaments where I just got rid of it with Magician Souls, or I kept looking at it to bait my opponent to get rid of it so I can purposely use it. Like, I was purposely baiting with this card. So, it's a great baiter. I was on the toilet thinking about how I would talk about this. Like, it's such a good baiter. Don't use Punishment. Use Schism. I don't have a Schism. And that is it for my 44 card deck. On to the side deck. Scratch that. We're going to go into the extra deck. Starting with the first card. It's a classic. Run it at 1. Don't be stupid. I said this in my last video. Do not be stupid. Run the Artemis. I have 3 copies of her. I was very tempted to run her at 2 because now I have 3 copies of Ecclesia and 3 copies of Rod. If I had 3 more copies of another spellcaster starter, we would run Artemis probably at 2. And it has to be a level 4 or lower spellcaster. We would probably run her at 2. But until then, run her at 1. Great recovery for Rod. That's mainly what she's for. That's why she's ran at 1. But she easily frees up space. So, don't see her being bad at 1. Alright. Gloomy. Love Gloomy. Great card today. Yesterday. Guess what? Lina came up way more than Gloomy. I'm starting to come to the conclusion that I think Lina is starting to become more popular, in my opinion, from my, obviously it's my locals, not all around. I think my locals is pretty diverse. yeah, Lana came up a lot more. Dark Gloomy came up some duels, not all duels. But Great Flex, she's a flexer. This is a main. If you don't get what I mean by flex is if I can't find a way to get my boss monsters, I'll go line around. Don't kill me, Loza. I'm still using the IP. Yes, it's a banged up IP. I just I have another one sitting in my closet, another gold, maximum gold. Not taking out my brightest cards, but IP Masquerada. Great card for the Dogmatica package. Let's say I go Rod effect, Summon Rod effect, Magician Souls effect, Summon Magician Souls. Do the little draw one, draw three technically combo, and then go into the IP, and then I activate the Dear Servant, Ecclesia effect, grab punishment, in phase, grab Fleur-de-Lis. And I can either, and I keep Fleur-de-Lis special summon on their turn for a negate, and then I IP effect into. Gonna go Unicorn for the IP effect, or if you want to be a little spicy, ultimate rare BLS. Just go straight for it now. This has been kept in very good condition. I barely use this card actually because it's so beautiful. But going into it off the IP and with the Fleur-de-Lis, not only does if it's level 7 or higher monster, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects, also it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. This says it cannot be destroyed by card effects, even though it already has both effects. Might as well stack it on top of it just because. Going to Unicorn, which I barely went into today. I only went to Unicorn once. But yeah. Beautiful card. BLS is so gas, bro. It's not Dark Magician. We'll have to Selene. Yes, love Selene. Selene is God tier. Great card. Extender into your big boy access code. Great card. Access code came up almost every single game. This deck is extremely consistent in my opinion. I would run this deck. I miss Imduk for 3 pop, but later down the line when I trade my IP in for a SP Little Knight, I don't know what type SP Little Knight. I think SP Little Knight is a dark attribute, but if I were to take a card out to put an Imduk in, it will be in my fusion, not my links. Speaking of fusions, starting off with my fusion monster, we're gonna start off with the daddy, the Dragoon. So my boy, daddy. Dragoon is very beautiful. Dragoon is life. Dragoon plus Secret Village plus Ecclesia, Fleur-de-Lis equals play the game. Oh, and Circle and Eternal Soul equals shake my hand. So, alongside Mirror Jade and Dark Magicians. I was going to take this card out. And then I thought to myself, I was like, Dark Magician Girl has some value in this deck. A little bit. She's mainly a huge brick. But this card has value. Run it if you can. Be based. Just try to be based. The draw power in this deck is absurd when you get the Dark Magician in here. You're going to get a turn where you're drawing 5 cards in one turn. You think I'm lying? I'll explain it later if I can in this video. But great card. Dragoon, great card. Mirror Jade, great card. Now, obviously, Mirror Jade cannot be. These guys cannot be summoned without the Lebellion and the 2 Albions that I have in this deck. Now, I could have went Albion, 2 Lebellion, and 1 Albion, but I couldn't find my second Lebellion. So, and I run a lot of lights in this deck. So that's not the problem. That's not a problem at all. And last but not least, 1 Tentaclad. Someone asked me, why the freak do you have to Tentaclad in this deck? Bro, Nadir Servant, dump the Tentaclad. Tentaclad at the end of the phase can either add a Fallen Albaz or a Dogmatica card from the deck to hand. Nadir Servant, drop the Tentaclad, grab Ecclesia. Ecclesia special summon under Artemis or under IP or under any extra deck monster effect. Search for a Dogmatic punishment. In phase, to Tentaclad effect, add a Fleur-de-Lis. Boom. That's how you get your Fleur. You do not search for Fallen Albaz unless you desperately don't have a starter and you know you're not getting your Rod back, which is sad hours. And I barely have done that in my days of playing with this deck. So that's it for the extra deck. Time to get. I'm gonna get this all taken care of. But time to get to the side deck. Now, as you can see, with this side deck is going to be modified week by week, local by local. So forgive me. I'm trying to get used to the meta because I've been going from Yu-Gi-Oh for 6 months. So bear with me. The king is coming back, and he's going to come back extremely strong. We're going to start off with 3 trolls. Let me fix this. There we go. There we go. I fixed the video. Sorry. 3 trolls. Great card. It was supposed to be an I'm Duck target as well, but also a lot of decks are searching a lot, bro. Like they're adding and adding and adding. Hit them with a Droll, they can't do much. Droll came up a lot today. Droll was probably my favorite hand trap of the day over Ash. It was so much more valuable than Ash, and that's saying a lot. So 3 Drolls, I think it's a great ratio for my side deck. And it's a spellcaster. If you guys didn't know that, Dark Magician players, pay attention. Spellcaster. Cool. It's gonna get kind of weird, okay? Bear with me. 2 Nib. The Nib might just get taken out. There's a reason why Nib's in here. Number 1, it's Nibiru. Great card. Number 2, tokens. Clear board. Number 3, it's a light monster. Branded Fusion. Dump Nibiru with Fallen Albaz if you need more lights for Albion, because I run 2 Albions. Great target if you ask me. Gotta pay attention to your attributes. This is way too good of a card to not use. This card came up a little bit today. Let's see. Any more monsters? Yes, there is. My last few bit of monsters. 2 Kaijus. These Kaijus came up today. They came up like never before. I got rid of a Psychic End Punisher. I got rid of a Baron. I got rid of so many cards today. I got rid of dude miscomboed and ended with Crimson Dragon. I Kaiju this Crimson Dragon. Kaiju was just so useful. I sided in Kaijus more than I sided in the Nibs. I think Kaijus is way more useful, way more important. It was a special summon by Tribune. It's not a spin your normal summon like Lava Golem to get rid of 2. Not saying Lava Golem isn't great. Great card, but yeah, 2 Kaijus. Last 2 monsters. Ghost Sisters. Ghost Ogre and Ghost Bell. So my opinion with Ghost Bell might go to 2. I had these both in my side deck before I changed it at 2 and 2, but I ended up putting them at 1 and 1 so I can get a good feel for it. I think I'm gonna go Ogre at 2 and take out Ghost Bell. But people will get mad at me and say, what about the graveyard effects, bro? Like, you just gonna forget about it? Well, I had Underworld Goddess in here for the graveyard stuff, but she's not in here no more, so Ghost has to stay in here. So I'm gonna go back and forth between 2 Snow Rabbits and 2 Haunted Mansions. Personally, people think Haunted Mansion's better. So I think Snow Rabbit just has more play because of continuous field spells. Fountain exists, you know? And Pressure Planet, yeah. So, put this to the side. 2 Dark Rulers and a Droplet. The Droplet play came up today. So, where is it at? 23:35. Go to that time frame, 23:35, and I'll explain to you the Droplet play I did today. So, basically what ended up happening is, bro had Dragoon on the field against me, and I had Ecclesia, Fleur-de-Lis, Droplet, Punishment, and Soul Servant in my hand. I drew my card for turn. It was Rod, and I said, "This is playable." I was like, "I can break the board with ease." I went ahead and normal summon Rod effect. He let me get off Rod. This is my Dark Magician mirror match. He let me get my Rod effect. I went ahead and grabbed Salvation. Salvation is set. Actually, yeah, Salvation is set Eternal Soul. I was trying to think ahead. Don't know why I didn't go Circle. Now that I look back at it, but it's okay. Then I activated Droplet, and then he looked at me and he was just like, "Really?" And I was like, got rid of Punishment, got rid of Salvation, and I got rid of what was it? Punishment, Salvation, and I think it was Fleur. Yeah, it was Fleur. And he's like, "Yeah, I can't do anything." Bro, tell me why he had a Super Poly in the back. So, didn't know it was Super Poly. I was reading I was reading Eternal Soul. That was a super poly. So yeah, I ended up getting his Dragoon get negated. I went ahead and went into and then I continued the combo. Basically, long story short, I broke his board with just Droplet. I need to get some more droplets so I can replace my Dark Rulers. But I don't think Dark Ruler's not bad because I've had some games where Dark Ruler just shut down boards and I was able to push forward and make a comfortable board. So don't sleep on Droplet. I think Droplet's a pretty good card if you ask me. Great card. Last and final 3 cards. 2 Cosmics and 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Might take the Harpy's Feather Duster out and run 3 Cosmics. All because of Psychic-In. Because I've seen Psychic-In so many times in my locals. And I was very afraid that I wasn't going to be under the life point threshold, especially after Upstart Goblin, which I barely used. I discarded it with Magician Souls over using it. You got to understand your deck. You got to sometimes gamble over you got to gamble with yourself before you gamble with your opponent by giving them life points, especially if you don't know what deck they're running. I recommend 3 Cosmics, but 2 Cosmics and 1 Harpies works. And that is it for the deck profile. Now, if you want to stay for a little longer in this video, I'm going to go over a few things that I think Dark Magician players should start siding in their deck. Like, they should start putting in their deck the side. Look forward to using these cards later in the format because these cards may help and they may, you know, not even in the side, main side, just in general, okay? So, give me a second. First card on the list. Let me flip you over. Flip my camera over. Cool. Judgment in your main, not the side. I think this card is so powerful that it might just be better than the Skill Trade. And people have got on me for saying that. I think this card is extremely crazy, especially if you're going first. And even if you go second, it's Magician Souls discard fodder. Spells and traps from Magician Souls is free. Going first for this card obviously helps you with stuff like if they activate stuff like Dark Ruler No More, and you can negate it with freaking Solemn Judgment. If they activate Harpy Feather Duster, Solemn Judgment, just blowout cards, like really good cards. Like what's the card I got off the ban list? I forgot his name. I forgot it's Snatch Steal. I don't think it's Snatch Steal. I forgot, but great card. Use it, main it. I would even go as far as saying run the 2 and run Strike. Or go 2 Solemn, 2 Strike. Which is what I did when I was in the Verte format. And it was godlike. It was 2 Judgment, 2 Solemn Strike, 2 Imperms, Eternal Soul. I'll never forget that format. Verte was godlike, bro. Next cards. Set of 3. Book of Lunar Eclipse. Great card. That's the only thing I can say. If you're tired of your opponent just going ham, and you can spend the time to discard to put 2 cards face down. And there's 2 face-up monsters on the field. So keep that in mind. Read your cards. Read. Here, I'll even show you. Discard 1 card, then target 2 face-up monsters on the field. Change them to face-down defense position. This is really important to know. So make sure you're reading your cards. Yu-Gi-Oh's, it's free to read in Yu-Gi-Oh! Next card. I dibbled and dabbled with this a little bit. Dwemer's Path. Now, for all the people that yells about how they can't get their rod back, on how they can't get their Magician Souls back, this is such a good card to do it with, especially in the grind game. You want it. What this basically does is target 1 spellcaster effect monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only activate 1 Dwemer's Path once per turn. I used to run this card a lot in my coming up Dark Magician deck, and it's kind of useful in my opinion. Pretty useful. Next cards, 2 Imperms. I only have 2. I don't have my 3rd one. Run the card. It's Imperm. Not too much to say. Extra Secret Village, unless you want to be weird. I still might just run 1 Secret Village. I'm not running Floodgates anymore, so I don't need I don't have to need to run 2 Secret Villages. I'm not pressed to see it. So yeah, I'm not pressed to see it. And then I'll get my next set of cards. There's so much to talk about. Also, I'm not going to tell you to like the video. But I need you to go subscribe to Loza, though. Y'all need to go subscribe to the man. Yugi Legend, my opinion. Great guy. Talk to. Great guy to the community. And yeah, let's just keep this going. All right, next set of 3. I still have them. Evenly matched. Great card. I only took it out today because I wanted to see if the hand trap tech would be superior. And it was indeed. I don't think Evenly's trash. I still would run Evenly in the side. Great card. It's just I lose my battle phase. Excuse me. I lose my battle phase, and Dark Magician needs their battle phase like mad bad. Unless you have my build where you can just pop the IP, get into the IP loop, and try to like stop your opponent from playing the game by going like BLS and good BMing. BLS. Can't wait to get SPL all night. 3-dimensional barrier. This card is not as powerful as it used to be with the tier dying down and Kashtira, Arise Heart being like banned. This card doesn't have too much value, but people need to start siding at least a whole set still. Don't think that the meta change in the ban list is going to stop people from hard ritual summoning. Oh, I said ritual summoning. Hard exceed summoning, especially getting into their fusions. Don't forget about that. They're going to do that. Links are really good. Dark World this session. Anyways, sorry, I was reading something. That's interesting. Okay, cool. But yeah, great card. Like it just stops. It stops so much. Yeah, it just stops so much. It can stop my Dragoon if I am not careful enough. So that's why I kind of stay away from that card. The last few cards. All right. You probably saw on the side. Dragon Knight. If it was more based, I would run this card. Great card. I might have to run this card again. If back row heavy side decks become popular, I need this card in my side. I'll do whatever it takes to make sure this is in the side. It is not hard to make this card. I'll make it over Dragoon. Being so serious. There's a lot of times where I made this card and it was so hard with the circle combo and the Eternal Soul. It was so hard for my opponent to actually break my board. And then I have Spellcaster next to me with Secret Village if we get lucky. It's DMG players. Great card. Time for a little bit of trickery. 3 skill drains. Skill drain is still at 3. He didn't get hit to 1. Thank God. I guess I do have my lost start. Cop it if you can. I don't know if anyone's gonna get this, but please cop it. It's not expensive as it used to be, but in my ulti next to it, yes sir. We're lavish. Don't worry about this one right here. We don't worry about that. But anyways, skill drain. Great card. You can get rid of it with Magician Souls. I'm getting sidetracked, chat. I said chat. I'm getting sidetracked, YouTube. You can get rid of this with Magician Souls. To draw 2 cards because Magician Souls sends up to 2 spells or traps from your hand or field for cost, semicolon. And you could draw after the resolution of sending for cost. It's a great negate. It's just good. Watch out though. Don't make a full board. Try to do Magician Souls first before you try to make a full board. You won't be able to get rod or any value out of it. This is such a trickster of a card. Successor Soul. Especially for people who want their bricks to leave their deck. I'll read it for you actually. It says, tribute 1 effect monster on your side of the field. Then target 1 effect monster your opponent controls. Semicolon, which would be for cost. They'll have to target their monster for cost. Send it to the graveyard, comma. Then special summon a level 7 or higher normal monster from your hand or deck. This not only helps you get rid of Dark Magician out of your hand if you break, because you know it's DMG, but it helps you get Dark Magician out of your deck faster. It gets Soul Servant live. It makes Eternal Soul live. It just does so much for the deck, and this card is very, very success. It has a high success rate in my deck. Very good card, bro. I've won trophies with this card. That's how good it is. Local trophies. Your Return One Day. Great card. Tribute Dark Magician off the field so you can Eternal Soul, bring Dark Magician back, but also going to Selene effect, special summon Black Dark Magician. Go into Imduk. After Imduk, go access code. Access code effect, target Selene. Banish Imduk, destroy. Banish Selene, destroy. Banish Dark, destroy. So that's 3 targets for access code. Boom. I'm giving out gems. Intis. Nadir, another Nadir serving target. We only have one Nadir serving target really in this deck. I lied. Albion. I lied. So this will be the 3rd target, not as powerful as it should be. But good card. Gets rid of stuff like field spells and stuff like that. Intis isn't a bad card in general. I would run it. Last and final card for the video. Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. Okay, so this card is only useful in my opinion unless you have IP. And you contribute one of your opponent's monsters on the field. That means you would need Ecclesia, you would need 3 monsters on your side of the field, and 1 on your opponent's side of the field. Obviously, assuming they were using IP to make her, obviously. People don't know I'm over attributing their Psychic Game Punisher. I just activate the effect and they say, okay. Look at your Psychic Game Punisher. Shake my hand. Shake my hand. It's just free. Like, just shake my hand, bro. Like, you're gonna lose. Like, great card. Wouldn't want it any other way. This card is gas, man. Like, I don't know. Like, it's a ghost bell inside of it, if I remember correctly. Yeah. If opponent effects, if your opponent activated effects, unless they target this card, once per turn, you when your opponent activates a card or effect, a special summon monster from the graveyard, you can negate the activation. It does not say you can negate and destroy it, unfortunately, but it negates the activation, so I guess that's good enough. So that is all I have for this video. This video is almost 40 minutes long. I'll try to see if I can trim it. Once again, thank you guys so much. Today I ended up going against DMG, Labyrinth, Branded, and what's that freaking fire deck? Not the Hydrant deck, but the Fire King. I think that's what it's called. I went against that deck, and I prevailed. 2-1 against DMG, 2-0 against Labyrinth twice, 2-1 against Branded, and the Fire deck was 2-1. Great games, but yeah, y'all stay safe out there. And this is another edition of Deck List. I'm gonna get this cleaned up, and y'all have a blessed night. All right, peace.